Picture this. You're in the end zone with all of the loot you could ever want, in the best position possible, and in prime condition to win in the Warzone. What's stopping you from being in this position every game? Lack of coordination with teammates? Faulty game plans? No plans at all? Well, today's video is going to put your skills to the test. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to show you an example of a 5th circle zone pull. You're going to pick which building you would rotate to and why. Once you've picked your building or position of choice, I'll then show you the 6th circle zone pull. Is the building you picked still in the zone? While looking at the map, do you still have a game plan? Well, if you don't, you can learn from mine, as I'm going to show you exactly how to play and win each of the 5 examples we have today. Let's get into the first one. Take a look at this 5th circle zone pull. Now, you obviously don't have any prior knowledge to what's happened so far in this game, but you don't need anything. All you need to know is where you need to end up in a zone like this if presented with the opportunity. Imagine you've just played the full game out and you are right now running from this top left position up here on foot into the zone. Which side of the zone are you going to take? Now, I will go ahead and say in a zone like this is very polarizing. Generally, zones won't be this polarized where either if you go to the left, you go to the right. That is dependent on whether you're going to win or lose, because there's water in the middle of the circle, which is a death trap late game. You don't want to be rotating through the water because only one person's going to come out of that left or right side, depending on which side gets that zone pull. And I will go ahead and say here in just a second, we'll look at this 6th circle. The right side gets the zone pull. Now, if you're looking over and leaning towards those right side buildings, that is definitely the method to choose. That's what I chose. And we'll go ahead and be showing some gameplay right now in the background so you guys can see exactly what I had to go through to take this win. Now, keep in mind, when you're looking at a circle like this, I will say, in order to get into a position like this, you do need to take a gunfight most often because there's not many buildings in a zone like this, meaning that there's going to be more players centralized in the middle of the circle because they're all fighting over those power positions. In a zone like city or military where there's buildings everywhere, you're not really going to have to fight as much over the end position. And I will say, as a massive tip for zones like this, if you're not as confident in your gun skill, but you are smart and know how to rotate into the storm, or using the skills from this video to make those rotations, you don't always have to take the number 1 or number 2 or even number 3 spot in the zone, as those will all be contested. As long as you're in a spot that you feel confident you can work your way and finagle into the end circle, use those smoke grenades, use your gas mask, that is a spot that will work. And I will say height wins these gunfights 9 out of 10 times. If you make your way on top of a building, which I do in this game, that is the number 1 way to finish off your matches. So I rotated into this building, had to make a late play, rotate a little bit into the storm, gas pulls over to the top of this building, we make it on top of that building, and then we just wait. Being on the top makes other people fight. You can also shoot them from the top if you want. It makes it a lot easier. So if you chose the right side of the circle here, you passed the test. Let's go ahead and see what happens with the rest of the game, and let's get into our second.
Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone. You're losing ground. Move it. squads eliminated. That's a job well done.
Okay, by now, you know the drill. This is test number 2. It's 5th circle here, and there's a lot of buildings in the zone. This is a city circle that we were talking about just a second ago. In a circle like this, there's a lot of different positions you could be in. There's a lot of different ways you can win the game. How specifically would you win this game based off of this zone pool? I'll give you just a second to look at it, and then we'll look at the 6th circle. We'll see what's going on. I will say, give you just a second here, I chose the south side of the circle. I actually played out of this building here, and you'll see how that worked out in the video. In my opinion, and the zones that I've seen in the zones like this, this building in the middle here is too much. It is a really, really good spot. However, getting out of there and fighting the amount of people that you will be finding in that building is going to be not consistent. You're going to be fighting too many people, and you're not going to be able to win every single gunfight you get into. So this is an example where I'd pick the second best building in my example, or in my opinion, which is the lower building, because you can work out. There's the gym. You'll see in the actual game how I ended up playing it, but this is the 6th circle from that game. So you'll see I chose the south building, and the zone pool is very dominant here in the middle of the circle on these train tracks. You've got these little overhangs with beautiful headies. We'll go ahead and again get that gameplay rolling in the background for you, so you can see exactly what's going on. Now, the person who ended up winning the fight in that big building was a really, really good player, and you'll see the fight in the end circle is something that I had to really work hard for. Coming off the top of this roof, I was able to use the buy station here, and that's something that you want to be preferring in these zones, is kind of owning and maintaining a buy station. If you could dominate a buy and make sure that you could use that before the circle ends and pop either UAVs or portable radars, which are $2,000 UAV alternatives, you'll see those on the bottom half of the buy station. Those are very important in the end zones. You know exactly where people are, especially if you have either bird's eye or comms vest, which do show ghosted players no matter what. So if you do have a UAV or comms vest, no matter if someone's ghosted or shrouded vest or anything, you will always see them 100% on the UAV, which is a massive tip a lot of people don't know. Also, side note, if you look up in the top left sometimes at your minimap and there's a red ring around it, that means you're on a UAV. A lot of people don't know exactly what that means. I'm going to be making an advanced tip video out soon, and you'll definitely get a nice little hint as to what's going on with that. Basically, you are on UAV a lot of the times, but you just don't realize it. So, again, in this gameplay, you'll see I rotate into the gym field, kill a couple people, and then I have to fight that last guy. He's pretty good, but we end up making it work in a zone like this. Let's go ahead and get into the 3rd one after you guys have seen the end.
Copy that. Longbow 3-1 is on station. I'll see the other side. Impact, no hits. Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. Gas is closing in. Accomplished. All targets eliminated.
Hopping into test number 3 here, by now you've definitely got the hang of this, but I want to challenge you with the circle like this one. Now, looking at this circle, there is no dominant power position here. Now, if you know anything about this portion of the map, this is Pop Power, this is that north side of the map, and this gas station, which this is a gas station, if you don't know what this building is not a tall one. This mountain up here dominates, towers over this gas station, but mountains on top of this aren't really that good of a play to hold. Now, I'll give you a second to figure out exactly where you think that I held in this circle, because it's probably different than what you think. Now, having a little bit of a second here, I will go ahead and say that I held Fire Station. Now, Fire Station is building up in the top left, and it ended up being very good in a circle like this. My thought process was, I'm not going to go Gas Station because, again, people are going to be fighting over this buy. This is the #1 spot in the map. in a circle like this, so it's going to be constant fighting over there. It's not guaranteed whether or not you come out of it alive, so I'm not worried about that. I'm looking for guarantees. I go up to the fire station, kill one person, and I had a deployable buy of myself, putting down that buy station and giving myself those UAVs for the end circle, and ended up here, we'll go ahead and switch to the 6th circle here, ended up in a massive advantage over everyone else in the circle. Now keep in mind, the guys in gas station had to fight each other. Only one person's going to come out of that. The guys wanting to take this zip line are right in zone of me. I can easily see those guys, look over, shoot them if I need to, and the people coming over the top of the hill are going to be fighting each other, worrying about themselves. I'm in a nice spot here. Now you'll also see in this zone, I take massive advantage of this LTV sitting, refueling on the gas station. That is something that you probably notice in the 5th and 6th circle while looking at them. It's a great play. I mean, that LTV, or basically cover, is going to give you something that a lot of other people aren't going to have in a circle like this. I mean, they're hiding behind trees and rocks. You have this moving cover, essentially, that you're able to use and take home that win. This is a hard example as to the kind of situations you're going to be put into in Warzone, and this is something that you can learn from. I mean, you could use your environment, you could use your surroundings, you could use loot off the ground, like the deployable buy in this case, or other lethals and tacticals that you find in order to play towards your advantage, because keep in mind, everyone's going to be fighting over the #1 spot in the zone. If that #1 spot is easier for you to get in and hold, say with claymores or proximity mines, then do it. But if you need to take the #2 or #3 option to win the game, it's very consistent that way, and I do recommend it. Now you'll see exactly what I do here. We'll give you a second to watch that, and then we'll hop into our next test.
Afraid.
Gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. No targets left to kill.
Okay, we're going for a lot of diversity in these zones. This is a top left circle pull towards Seaport and kind of like the left side of Cargo, and we have a lot to look at in this circle. Now, this is test number 4, another 5th circle example. Go ahead and pick exactly what building you would rotate to and what building you think most people would be in, because there's definitely a circle in this one, or a building rather, that is going to have a lot of people in it, and I can see it right now. So go ahead and look at this. I'll give you just a second here, and I do want to say, don't overthink it. That's your hint. You can see here that I'm on the bottom left of the zone. I'm on top of this building. I kind of intentionally got myself out of the circle to take these screenshots and record this video because I didn't want to bias your opinion or anything and look at where I was in the circle and kind of make my rotation in so I could kind of get a feel for how it's going to be rotating in late, if that's what you were going to do or if you're going to be posted up early. I will go ahead and say in this circle, fire station is going to be the most contested spot on the map, so that is immediately crossed off my list. There's no reason to go to the most contested spot of the or contested spot of the map rather, if it's going to be hard to hold. I actually, you'll see here in this is the 6th circle, stayed on the bridge. Now in this circle, the bridge actually is a very good position here. I did have to fight one person in order to secure the bridge for myself, but it's a great spot here in this final circle. It allowed me late to jump on top of the gas station, which is kind of where the circle ended, and also get a kill on the person top of restaurant. There's 2 other buildings in here. Obviously, gas station would have been a good pick, and restaurant would have been the 3rd pick, which the game ended on, where it wouldn't have been a bad decision to stay on top of. But I do want to say, never overthink your zone pulls. If you think that in the 6th circle, you're going to have a little bit of a top overhead here on the bridge, you may be able to stay up there. That's my thought process. And what I was thinking is that long term, like late game, last circle, I want to be on top of the gas station. And what's going to make it easier for me to get on top of the gas station? Well, being on top of the bridge when that zone pulls is going to make it easy to get on top of the gas station. You will see I did face a little bit of struggle to get on top of the station there, but it ended up working out, even though it was a little bit not bulletproof. I don't know exactly what word I was looking for there, but it was definitely difficult to get on top. But that was my thought process. Height always wins, well, generally wins, and that's the goal. I mean, you want to be on top of these buildings that you like, especially in the end circle, because everyone's fighting on the bottom, and you are just the king on the top. You're able to take shots if you want to, you're able to back up if you want to, and watch everyone else fight. That was the thought process there, so a nice, easy win. This one's a nice little lesson as to don't overthink it. Sometimes you could stay just where you're at and wait until the end to make your your decision, because height always wins, and that's what's to be learned here. Let's hop into test number 5 once you've seen how it plays out.
Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone. Got gas moving in. Mission accomplished. All targets eliminated.
Heading into test number 5 here, we definitely saved one of the hardest for last. Looking at this circle, what is even going on? We have a road going through the middle of the circle. We've got train tracks going through the middle of the circle. We don't have barely any buildings in, no power positions. Where do you hold? There's a big field. What exactly is going on here? I'll give you a second to figure out what you would do, and then I'll show you what I did. Now, keep in mind, I will say there are 2 LTVs in the zone. There's one in that top right part of the map. There's one in that bottom left. So looking at cars as cover as potentially an idea could be good, but that's not what I ended up doing in the gameplay. What I actually did was use some map knowledge and building jump spot awareness to make a good play and get into a good spot in this end zone. Number 6, and you'll see the actual zone pole. It favors that left side of the map, that big hill, and there's one singular building in the zone. Well, there's 2, but one's really small. There's one singular dominant building in the zone. Now, I will say the reason that I ended up playing that building is because I know a good jump there. Now, knowing jumps in different buildings or just having situational awareness, map awareness, or just prior knowledge on the spaces that you're going to or the spots you're going to really helps in zones that are so polarizing. Again, you don't know where this is pulling. You don't know who's going to win or where they're going to win from, because you could really win this circle from anywhere. What I did is I rotated to the building, which you'll see in the gameplay, did a nice little jump up, got on top of the roof, and got into a nice position that made everyone fight themselves, and I kind of stuck to myself. That's one of the #1 themes that you're seeing in these zones and these gameplays, is that making other people fight and basically do the dirty work for you is one of the best things about finding and taking the best spot for you. Because if you're in a nice spot or you've done a nice jump up, you can kind of get rewarded for that by not having to fight people if you don't want to, and getting these wins and getting into the end zone more consistently. I really do hope that this video helped you. It's been a lot of work in the process, you know, getting the gameplays, getting the screenshots, everything, and I love doing this type of content. If you do enjoy it, let me know down below, and please leave a like and subscribe. If you do like it, it really helps me out, because we're really trying to get more informational style content out to you guys in the next few weeks, bro. I really do love doing this stuff, and much freaking love for watching. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. Peace.
We can stop them together.
Longbow 3-1 is on station. Strike inbound. No hit. Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone. Gas is moving. Some bitches picked the wrong fight.